Well, hello. I've not filmed for a while, but yeah, welcome back to another video. And today we're going over the updated Switch collection. So basically, I'm not going to go into wow, thank you, too many in-depth reviews. I just want to give my overall impressions of each game. Also, in total, we have 41 games. There's two in this case right here, so I'll cover those first. So we have Pokemon Violet, and in this case as well is also Dragon Quest XI. So Pokemon Violet, I've honestly really enjoyed. Of course, there's been the whole graphical issues and performance issues. Personally, I've not noticed much of it, but for a Pokemon game, being open world, it's been very enjoyable. The game in here is also Dragon Quest XI. Dragon Quest has been a blast, even though it's been a little bit challenging. Probably one of my favourite games I'm currently playing, so I would highly recommend picking it up. Next, we have Tactics Ogre. This is my newest to the collection by Square Enix. What can I say? The story so far is great and gripping. The gameplay is easy to grasp, however, it is quite difficult, and there is no what they're called difficulty settings. But apart from that, loving this game. I'm going to be playing some more today. Next we have Splatoon 3. So I've not really put many hours into this, but from what I played, it's really fun, especially Turf War. Ignite adores this game. I like it. I just need to put more time in it and actually get good at it. Then we have Fire Emblem Three Hopes, probably one of my favourite hack and slashes. I've been playing this one a lot recently. I still have one more route to go down, unfortunately, but man, it's fun. It gets intense, and yeah, I mean, it's Fire Emblem. I could not hate it. Next, we have Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is another game which I also really like. I haven't beat this one yet, as I hate the research and leveling up system in this game. I absolutely despise it. That's why I've not really put too much time into this. However, gameplay-wise, world-wise, outstanding game, and I would highly recommend it. Next, we have the DioField Chronicle. I bought this because it's another tactics-style game, one of my favourite genres, of course, and Square Enix. I adore Square Enix. However, it's not that it hasn't grasped me. It's not that the story isn't bad or anything. I just don't like the visual style. As much as to say Tactics Ogre or Dragon Quest. There's just something about it which I really haven't clicked with. I've only put 5 hours into it, and frankly, I will continue it at some point, but I don't know when. Next, we have Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Oh, this is a masterpiece. I adore Xenoblade. Yeah, the world, the combat, the story, the characters, masterpiece. Literal masterpiece. Then we have, these two games are actually digital, but I'm just casting them as physical because of the cases. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. My first time ever playing a Mario-based strategy game. Quite enjoyed it, to be fair. I've not got far into it, and it's currently archived because I needed storage. Not a bad game though, really fun, all the same. Then we have Child of Light. Now this is a game. The graphics, the story, the characters who you meet, the combat. This is definitely one of my favourite lower budget games I've ever played, and I would really highly recommend it. I haven't beat it yet, but I'm really close to doing that. Next we have No Man's Sky. So this game, wow, what's happened to the case? That is weird. But anyway, No Man's Sky is another one of these games which I've been intrigued with for years, and the Switch port finally enticed me to buy it. Love it. Honestly, exploring randomly generated worlds which you're the most likely only want to see ever. It's such an experience. It gets annoying when you got to collect resources all the time, but all the same, great game. Okay, next pile. We have Pokemon Sword. Pokemon Sword has been fun. I didn't mention the story in Violet, but I do prefer Violet's story. But Pokemon Sword has been fun. It has some open world areas, and I was able to get some of my favourite Pokemon in shiny form as well. The game is fine, but the DLC truly makes this copy. Next, we have Monster Hunter Stories 2. I was honestly really against it at first. I'm like, Stories 2. Why do they call it Monsties? I hate that term, Monsties. After playing it though, really good. Really enjoyed it. Not much else I can say. Oh boy, this is a good one. Octopath Traveler. I'm nowhere near beating this, but from what I've played, the story, the pixelated graphics, it's an absolute wonder. I need to play more of this, and I need to get off my high horse and change some of my characters around. But outstanding game. Next we have Lego Marvel Super Heroes 2. I think this was like my third game ever. I mean, open world, absolute blast to play in the open world, and you just have your standard Lego levels. Not much more I can say. Fun game. Hyrule Warriors. Oh wow, that's fitting. Zelda's after this. This was my first ever hack and slash game. Loved it. The story was brilliant. The characters are of course brilliant. And yeah, Ganon was actually difficult in it. Well, not difficult, harder in this game. There we have a classic Breath of the Wild. I mean, there's not much more I can say with this. The world is stunning. However, the story is a little lackluster in terms of the bosses, especially Ganon. Triangle Strategy is one I picked up solely because of Square Enix again, just like Octopath Traveler. I beat all routes in this game. It has the same amazing pixelated art style like Octopath Traveler. I can't fault this one again. One of my favourite games of all time. Then we have Mario Strikers. I've not really played it since buying it, if I'm honest. It's a fun one. It's definitely fun. Had some fun games with Ignite. I've not played the latest update, but for a Mario game, it's fun. It's just not enticed me. Next we have Hot Wheels Unleashed. I mean, it's Hot Wheels. The gameplay is actually really good. The level design is amazing, and the music for a racing game is actually really good. I got so this is the Day 1 edition, so I got some exclusive DLC for this. Highly recommend it if I'm honest. If you want to play with friends and family. Fire Emblem Three Houses. This was one of my first ever games as well, which is actually shocking. But I bought this off a whim. So my friend Flynn, he recommended this to me. He's like, oh yeah, why didn't you buy this game? It's really good. I bought it without watching any trailer. And then I'm watching the trailer, I'm like, you have to train students? What have I bought? But then I played it. The strategy, the story down each route, including a secret fourth route, and then the eventual DLC. This is still last time we did this ranking. This was my favorite game of all time, and I'm not 100% sure that has shifted yet. Next we have Hades, which is probably one of my favorite indie games of all time. Wow, what has happened to my cases? I've literally just left them in a corner. I might need to move them away from that window. But for a indie game, combat-wise, graphically, outstanding. Hades won a lot of rewards for a reason, and I can't wait for Hades 2. Xenoblade 2 is still one of my favourite games of all time. We met, of course, Rex and Pyra Mythra. Great game. Yeah, it's the mold affecting my cases, so our house has a mold issue. I need to sort out these cases. Next we have Game Builder Garage. I played 5 hours of it and I just gave up with it. It was fun for the 5 hours. And then my first ever Fire Emblem hack and slash game. Fine. Just fine. Right, the last pile, we have Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Really enjoyed this one, the multiple spots to, of course, explore. My massive criticism is with the DLC. How in the world do you get a Star Wars Rebels DLC, and they don't include Zeb, but they include the rest of the crew. That is bollocks. Then we have Monster Hunter Rise, which is actually my most played game of all time. 900 hours. What can I say? This was my first ever Monster Hunter game. Knocked it out the park. Absolutely adore it, and the DLC is special. Next we have Smash Bros. I mean, this was my first game of all time on the Switch. Great DLC, apart from a few characters, and it's always a blast to play with friends. Next we have the good old Mario Kart, and I will be playing this later on actually. My friend just got Mario Kart, and it's really put me in the mood to play it. I love Mario Kart, honestly, especially playing with friends. The car customizability. I do need to get the DLC at some point, but it's a really fun family game. Same with Mario Golf. Mario Golf surprised me on how hard it is. Even on easy difficulty, I still lose to the NPCs. But apart from that, outstanding game. Oh, now this is a game. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. First of all, how the hell do you run on the Switch? Number two, how the hell are you so good? This is like in major contender for my favourite game of all time. That's probably going to be a video at some point. Then we have Bravely Default 2. I beat the main baddie. I've not beat the final boss yet, but for a game, the character models are crap. But apart from that, the world design combat is actually really good. Blue Fire. So I bought this one off a whim as well, made by Graffiti Games. I love the visual style, and it's literally just like a parkour combat game. I've made it farther semi recently, but I do need to beat this game at some point. Worth it, if I'm honest. I mean, Harry Potter, Lego Harry Potter. I mean, I've actually not beat this. Surprisingly, I've not beat this game, as you do get all of it. But apart from that, I mean, it's a Lego game. What do you expect? This one's a random one. Everspace. I liked this more when I initially picked it up. So basically, what it is your usual space explorer. Your character is a clone, and you have to find out who they are by doing certain missions, quests, etc., etc. And you can proceed through the galaxy until you get to a certain point where you can continue with the story. It's fine. I've not played it for about a year now, and that honestly shows why. Next, we have Assassin's Creed, the Rebel Collection. Honestly, I bought this one off a whim as well. Personally, I don't care for Assassin's Creed anymore. It was fun when I played it. I've not beat the games. I'm far from beating the games, and I don't have any plans to continue with them at this point in time. Brilliant Diamond was a fun remake, but that's all I can really say. And it was fun to fight Cynthia again. Xenoblade Chronicles. This is my least favourite version of the Xenoblade games. Nothing against Shulk. Like, Shulk and the rest of the cast are brilliant, and it was so nice to see Melia returning in number 3. But I just like the other two better. Rayman was my second game ever. I mean, Rayman is classic. The levels are brilliant. Characters are brilliant. I just haven't played it much. This is one which I should be playing more. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. I bought it so I could face the old monsters. Haven't even got past 1-star quests, and my game tower collapsed. Yay! But yeah, we have one more, and it's Metroid Dread. This is a great intermission to the Metroid series. Really good game, as it's just technically a stand-in for the next Metroid Prime game. But yeah, love it. I've beat it now, and I would highly recommend it. So yeah, that's all my games. So I would say the top run-ins for my favourite game of all time would be still Fire Emblem Three Houses, Witcher 3, and I would also say Triangle Strategy. I would say other games like Octopath, but I need to beat them first. So yeah, bye guys.